I'll have to make sure her control is at least at water walking levels before I teach her any jutsu. What exactly will you teach her, Kit? I plan to make her my apprentice in the ways of the Gamma arts. That means she'll sign the contract when I feel she's ready. What about the Sannin arts? Will you teach her that as well? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, I'm going to spend this break to talk to Kichi. I haven't seen him for thousands of years. Ha! How does it feel to be an old man? The fox asked with a smirk. Naruto smirked back and retorted, I may be old, but at least I still look young. He then flew through hand seals and used the Gyaku Kuchiyos, reverse summoning, to transport himself to MT Mayaboku. Mayaboku. Naruto found himself in the densely forested home of the Gamma clan and smiled at the memories he had of this place. It's like nothing's changed since I was last here. Except that Kichi is now the Grand Sannin of the clan. Better not keep him waiting since I'm sure he sensed my arrival. The blonde shinobi trekked through the dense forest and made his way to the toad's village. When he stepped through the dense fauna, many toads turned their gazes to him, and most widened their eyes in surprise at how a human found this place. A small few were able to see the whisker markings and murmured, Naruto-sama. The whispers caused others to realize just who this intruder was. Suddenly, a loud boom was heard followed by an intense tremor signifying the arrival of Gamashun. He turned to the blonde and greeted, Welcome back to Mayaboku after so long, Naruto-sama. Naruto nodded in greeting and replied, It's good to see this place again. I actually came here to speak to Kichi. Can you take me to him? Of course, this way, Naruto-sama, Shun answered before leading the Uzumaki to a large courtyard that had a large crystal ball and an ancient-looking toad. The toad was orange and blue with many wrinkles and wheezing breaths. He turned his head towards Naruto's general direction, presenting foggy eyes to him. So, Kichi's become blind over the years, same as the Grand Sannin of my time. Naruto then smiled to Kichi and stated, It's been a long time, hasn't it, Kichi? Nii-san? Is that really you? Kichi asked in between wheezed breaths. Yeah, Kichi, it's me, Naruto. I'm glad to see you again after so long, Naruto commented while embracing the blind toad. I assume that everyone else is. Yes. They're all dead. I was given the title of Grand Sannin by Toussaint before he passed on. Although Fukusaka-sama left something for you in his will, Nii-san. He did? Asked a surprised blonde. I'm sorry to hear that I wasn't there for the service and about everyone else. After a small silence in short memory of the deceased toads, Naruto asked, So what exactly did Fukusaka-sama leave me? Kichi's answer was to press his left forepaw to the ground next to him, resulting in a small plume of smoke. Once it cleared, an old-looking staff was seen in Kichi's paw. He left you his senjutsu staff. You remember, the one that knocked nature chakra out of someone if they had too much? Yeah, I remember. Naruto said in a whisper as he took the staff. He felt nature chakra flowing freely through it and remembered the times when the old toad used it on him. It brought a melancholic smile to his face as he thought of all the bumps he received throughout his senjutsu training. So, did he want me to do something with this, Kichi? Kichi? Yes, he did. He wanted you to pass on the ways of the Gamma Sannin to this generation. Aside from me, you are the last Sannin of the Gamma clan. Not only that, but I think my time has finally come. Naruto turned to his oldest friend with wide eyes. Kichi, you can't possibly mean that. We just saw each other again after so long, and now you're about to die? You can't die. The old toad gave Naruto a sad smile. Yes. I am about to die. However, I'm glad that I was able to see you one last time, Nii-san. Be sure to honor Fukusaka-sama's last wish. He then gave one long, final wheeze for air before whispering, Goodbye, Nii-san. The Grand Sannin then bowed his head forward and became still. Naruto felt his eyes water and proudly let the tears free in memory of his dead friend. Many other toads that had come to see the meeting between the two were also in tears at the loss of their oldest clan member. Kichi. I promise that I will keep the Gamma arts alive, for you and for all members of the Gamma clan. Naruto then turned to the other toads and raised his right fist over his heart, a gesture that they readily returned. Gamma-shun spoke up, we are proud to have you as our Grand Sannin, Naruto-sama. The Uzumaki nodded and replied, I promise, to all of you, that I will keep our teachings alive. I have already found my apprentice, and I will make sure that she becomes a Sannin worthy of the Gamma clan name. He then slammed the staff on the ground, causing a flash of green to emit from it. That is my promise of a lifetime to you all. The toads all smiled to the blonde with determination while a small white and green toad hopped up to him and bowed. Naruto-sama, please allow me the honor of accompanying you as your familiar toad, she requested. Naruto gave her a small smile and nodded. Thank you. I have a feeling that I'll need someone like you to assist me. What is your name? Name. Gamayuki, Naruto-sama. But you may call me Yuki for short. Very well Yuki, hop on my shoulder, and we'll return to the human realm. When she was resting on his shoulder, he turned to the toads and stated, remember, the ones who love us never really leave us. Kichi will always be in our hearts so long as we honor his memory, and live how he wanted us to. At their nods, he and Yuki disappeared from the toad realm in a plume of smoke. Forest clearing. When the duo reappeared, they noticed Mai and Ty Lee already waiting for them. Ty Lee was still reading her scroll, while Mai leaned against a tree and watched the clouds drift by. This caused Naruto to sweat drop and think, yep, she's definitely a Nara through and through. Mai turned her gaze to her teacher and actually gave a small smile. Well, I was wondering where you went. Where did you go exactly? Naruto pointed to Yuki and replied, the realm of the toads. I picked up my inheritance. He then presented his Sannin staff to her and allowed her to hold it. Strangely to the kunoichi in training, it felt right in her hands. The aura emitting from it felt empowering and amazing to her. The feeling left when Naruto took it back and sealed it in a storage seal drawn on his right palm. Now we are going to work on your chakra control. The first thing I want you to do is to try and focus it to certain points, hands, feet, etc. Mai nodded and closed her eyes while feeling for her chakra. She felt it in her core, but moving it around was hard for her. She was then broken out of her concentration by Naruto standing behind her and moving her hands to form a strange gesture. Noticing her confusion, Naruto explained, this is called a Ram seal. It's beneficial for initial chakra control for beginners. Hold that seal while focusing your chakra and you'll see the difference. He then backed up and watched her get to work. He saw that she had little trouble moving her chakra around while holding the seal, and gave an unnoticeable smile at her progress. Most would have trouble even with the seal, but she seemed to barely have any problems. If she truly isn't having much problem, then she must have decent control already, which is strange for a beginner with low Chunin reserves. Mai liked the feeling of moving her chakra around her coils. It felt incredible to be so in control of something. Then again, she didn't have much control over what happened in her life. It took a lot of convincing to her parents to even let her learn. Even if they knew of Naruto's legendary status, they still felt that being associated with a war veteran wouldn't be best for her. Luckily for Mai, her mother saw how badly she wanted to learn from the Uzumaki, and gave her daughter her blessing. It was worth it in her eyes since she saw Mai give her a bright smile, and a small hug and thanks, two things she rarely saw her daughter do anymore. After spending a few minutes getting a feel for moving her chakra around, Naruto called her over to show her the other 11 hand seals: bird, tiger, boar, rat, dog, dragon, horse, ox, serpent, hare, and monkey. It took the rest of the afternoon to get Mai to perform the seals fluently and at a decent speed. When Naruto dismissed her, she surprised him by smiling at him and saying, as troublesome as you may be, I want to thank you for doing this for me. By the way, what's the word for teacher in the old language? Teacher instated as sensei, and teaching you is no problem. After all, I did say you'd be my deshi mai. I'm guessing that means student? She asked with a small smirk. Close, it means disciple, he replied with a matching smirk. Well anyway, I'll see you tomorrow, sensei. As Mai left the clearing, Yuki spoke up, your student seems promising, Naruto-sama. Yes she does. By the way, you don't have to call me Sama. Just Naruto is fine with me. Little Yuki stammered a bit at how her summoner seemed so disinterested in his respected title, but she calmed down and replied, if you say so, Naruto. For the following 2 weeks, Mai worked on her control with the help of her sensei, while Ty Lee watched on in curiosity and wonder. After she had gotten a feel for her chakra, Naruto moved Mai on to tree climbing. It surprised the two girls when they saw the Uzumaki walk straight up a tree and stand under a tree branch with only his feet. Obviously, Mai had some trouble with this one, but not as much as Naruto believed she would. She merely kept putting too much chakra into her feet, which forcefully pushed her off the tree. He easily helped her solve the issue since he knew what it was like to use too much chakra at one time. With his advice, Mai was able to steadily progress up the tree, each time getting slightly higher than the previous. After the 2 weeks of tree walking, Naruto moved his student on to physical exercises to increase her strength, stamina, and endurance. He had her run around the clearing, perform push-ups, made her do chin-ups on a low branch, and had her wear taiju fuian, weight seals, during it all. She had the seals on her wrists, ankles, and abdomen. The ones on her wrists and ankles were 10 pounds each while the one on her abdomen was 15. This went on for another 2 weeks. The following 3 months were spent teaching Mai water walking to further increase her chakra control as well as basic weapons training with kunai and shuriken. For her safety, Mai was allowed to keep her weights off during the water walking, and used blunted weapons during her weapons training. It surprised Naruto at how proficient she was with her weapons, especially since she claimed that she'd never used them before. I can't believe how good she is already. Maybe one of Tenten's descendants married a Nara down the line. That would make sense. That Higurashi girl was a terror with those weapons of hers, but she was especially good with bows and arrows. You gonna have Mai learn how to use those? I don't see a reason not to. Tenten would kill me if I didn't have her descendant learn her skills, even if I was already dead. After those months, Mai had mastered water walking and was as skilled as Tenten used to be with kunai and shuriken. She was able to hit targets many yards away, moving and stationary, and score perfect bullseyes on them. The 5th-7th months of training had Naruto teaching Mai how to properly use the kawarimi, henge, and bunshin techniques. Since she was still relatively new to the shinobi arts, seeing the techniques demonstrated to her made her eager to learn, even if Naruto wasn't able to fully demonstrate the regular bunshin to her. Naruto was glad to see how Mai truly was without her emotional barrier up. She reminded him of himself so much that it was both refreshing and scary. Refreshing to see that he was able to help someone that was like him, and scary at how similar they were. The 5th month was spent on kawarimi and learning on when to properly use it and time it. Month 6 was used for henge training. It amazed Mai at how Naruto was able to successfully fool Ty Lee with this as he acted like her. That month was also a fun one for her since she used it to fool so many people around the city, which made Naruto think that he had somehow passed on his old pranking ways to his student. The 7th month was challenging to say the least. Since Naruto was unable to perform a simple bunshin, but knew the hand signs for it, he couldn't properly demonstrate it to her. When she asked why, he replied, "My reserves match that of 3 Kage-level shinobi alone. More chakra equals harder control, but it also makes some techniques impossible for me. The bunshin is merely one of those techniques." Understanding that even her sensei is not above everything, she tried her best with the technique. The first 2 weeks of the 7th month only resulted in pale or dead illusions. Week 3 had them pale still, but none looked dead. It wasn't until the last 3 days of week 4 that she successfully made illusionary clones. While pleased with her progress, Naruto reminded her that bunshin were not physical, so they didn't make a sound. A trained warrior would be able to notice the difference the real her and her clones on that alone.